Kia ora, Tato. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to this last Q&A that we have here. And actually, it's not even a Q&A this time here at Digital Boost. This is our last live event that we're having at Digital Boost for 2023. How did we get to the end of 2023 already? I'm Georgia Hatzis. For those of you who haven't seen me or haven't joined any of these live events, welcome. Today, it's just me. I'm going to give us a little recap of what we've seen and what we've learned from Digital Boost this year. I'm fairly new to the platform, only being with the company for the last 4 to 5 months, and I've had such growth and so much love for this community. And I just wanted to share the little bits that I've learned, and I think that we've all learned coming along together. So since I've been digitally boosting myself, I have set up a little presentation as we would do for our Q&As as we normally would. I have the Q&A function open. Let's see if you have any questions I might be able to answer. I'll keep an eye out for it. But basically, I'm just going to give us a rundown of what we have learned and what we've achieved and what we've had brought in Digital Boost. Let's share the screen. Give me a moment. And there we go. You should be able to see that. So thanks again for showing up for yourself, for your business, for being here for every one of these live events or watching them on the platform or as they're recorded. What I wanted to talk about a little bit is my role here, which is finding these beautiful experts to come in and have these conversations with you. So the more you let us know here at Digital Boost what you're looking for and what content we might be missing, the more I can search out those people and find them for you so they can come on here and we can have these conversations and you can ask your questions of the experts. So I'm just doing a little recap of the last 4 months, really, of what's really shown up for us in our businesses. And it seems to be the topics that come up a lot for business in order for us to thrive. So we're all in different phases and stages of our businesses. And what we tend to absorb and then implement will depend on what we need for our businesses to grow. So the great thing about Digital Boost is if you know where you'd like to upskill or if there's a topic you'd like to learn more about, you can search for it on our platform or reach out to our support team. But the question then becomes, what happens when there are skills that you could benefit from that you don't even know you need? And that's where these experts come in, right? So there might be things that you are asking for. I know we've been wanting more TikTok, or that's more marketing and social media stuff. Ask us for that stuff and I will find it for you. And then someone else in this community might not even realize that TikTok could really benefit their business and help them grow. So that's how these events come in handy, and how your input and having this conversation between us really will help you to thrive. So the top 3 takeaways of this year, these are my top 3 topics that I thought really made an impact. And it's marketing, AI and AI tools, and cybersecurity. So if you've been following me for the last 4 months, you'll know that we've had a lot of events that circulate around these topics. So starting off with marketing, we have learned so much. We've learned about the marketing basics. We've learned about the customer journey. We've learned about email marketing, or whether you're using paid or free social media marketing. We've covered a lot about digital marketing this year, and we tend to do that year after year as I've gone back and seen what's been done in the past. But it's really important, even for those of us who are marketing and we're marketing experts and we know what we're doing in our business and we think we've got it down, to reassess and go back and say, okay, let's just go back to the basics. Number 1, how specific am I? Can I get more specific? So we learned how to be specific this year, and honing in on who our client is. Who are we talking to? Who are we selling to? Who are we sharing our services with? Getting really, really specific about those people. We've also learned about setting purposeful objectives and creating a content plan. So just a little sneak peek, we are going to be working on a marketing content plan in the beginning of January. It's going to be a workshop with Digital X Marketing. So go to the platform and sign up for it so you have that RSVP down and you'll get the reminder in your inbox. But we are going to set up a marketing plan. So getting specific, figuring out what are we doing for the year? How are we going to figure this out? So specifically, what I found that was interesting in one of our events is we honed in on the platforms and social media that are most used within New Zealand, we found out that Facebook is still coming out on top overall, which I thought was surprising. I found that really surprising. But Facebook in Aotearoa is what we're using, right? And there are other, you'll see if you go back into the platform, there was that was an event with Ollie Garside from Mosh. So check that one out. We also just had a beautiful marketing workshop with Lauren Tomlinson from the Social Collective. And there are other ones from the beginning of the year that you can also check out. So we learned, like I said, how to get specific and set our objectives and create content plan. And then we moved on and we learned about SEO again and how important it is, our ranking in Google, that search engine optimization, how important keywords are, what it looks like, and how you can get found in Google and how your business can get found. So that was a great workshop that we had with Grant Johnson from Rocket Spark. I don't think that's posted on the platform because it was a workshop, but if it is one that you want to see, I think we have it in an archive that our support team can send you a link to that, even if you didn't attend and didn't RSVP. I'm just putting that out there as a little secret between us. Email marketing versus social media. Okay. So do we need to make a choice between the two? That is a question for you. And that's an interesting topic that came up this year. Is email marketing somewhere we want to focus on? Is social media someplace we want to focus on? Do we want to diversify? What does that look like? And how do we do that without taking a lot of time and effort out of our businesses? So whether it's outsourcing it to someone within the company or outside of the company, if you're a one-man band, how do you do that? And how do you figure out what's best for your own business? So, in email marketing, we talked about what platform you should be using, the key elements of email marketing strategy from your email title, what that subject line is and how to draw people in to just even click open your email, to what the body might look like, to how that is a different beast from talking to your audience on social media like Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or wherever else you are, LinkedIn. They all have different vibes. So gaining consent, right? Gaining consent for our database in email, making sure that's a really important one. So we had a really good session with Gavin Hewitson from Inbox. If you want to check that one out, or even just popping in email marketing into the search bar, you can find a lot of information about that. These are just like little tidbits. I'm just doing a nutshell version so that we can go over all of this today. How to gain your new subscribers, how to get people in, how to get people to sign up for your mailing list just for email marketing. One of the biggest takeaways has been to test your marketing. So whether that's your social media, when you're posting, what your vibe is, if it's pretty pictures or reels or stories, and this is shifting all the time. So that's why we want to test it. You want to test and see what's changing. Maybe shift one little thing at a time. So maybe you're doing a bunch of reels right now and you're doing stories about your product or your service and there are no people in it. And you're seeing how that's doing. Are people engaging with you? Are you seeing an uptick in pricing? Again, figuring out what your goals are for marketing and seeing like, oh yeah, my goal is to make more money, to sell more of this product. When I engage this way with social media, it is bringing me more money. That is working. If it isn't working, what do I need to shift and see how I can get people in? So you're doing your product. Maybe you decide, you know what? I'm just going to do a TikTok and or stay on Instagram. Let's make it easy. I'm going to stay on Instagram, but I'm going to show my face and I'm going to talk about the product. And I'm going to say, hey, this is a really great hand lotion that's made here in Aotearoa. It's chemical free, blah, 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 where you just were showing the pretty picture before. Now you've put your face in it. How's the engagement there? So just these little tiny tweaks that you can make and see how many more people you're reaching and how much your business will grow from that. And don't forget that we have Checkable on our platform that can assess and generate a report from wherever you are. So you can see if you need to be doing better in certain aspects with your SEO, with your social media, how your website is ranking, how people are engaging with it. It'll give you a report of like, hey, you're doing really, really great in this but not so great in this. Here are some tips and tricks as how you can change it. So Checkable is fantastic. The fact that we have that on the platform and it's free and you can just pop your URL in there and get these reports is such a gift. It's such a gift. So make sure that if you haven't used that yet, that you do access it and try and use that for your business. The next topic we're going to talk about AI and AI tools. AI is here. This was a big year for AI. We talked a lot about AI. And some of us went from being terrified of the alien overlords of AI becoming sentient and taking over the world to really seeing how these tools are here to streamline our workflow and how they can help us save time and money in our business, right? So AI is being incorporated into everything right now. It's shifting and it's changing a lot. We learned that it's growing and evolving constantly. And so the free versions of these tools also benefit us. And once you get those down, you can say, oh, is it worth it to go for the pro version? Does that really help me and benefit me? Or am I good here in the free version? You can decide. But the great thing about AI is, like I was saying, is it's being implemented and being used even when we're not even realizing it. So Zoom is using it now, it's Canva's using it, email platforms are using it, and it's just becoming part of making the platform's workflow easier, and therefore it makes our workflow easier. So when we choose to use AI tools and really actively engage with them and teach them what we need them to do, it really benefits our business. ChatGPT. I mean, everyone's talking about ChatGPT. I don't know if anyone saw the meme about in France, ChatGPT, when they say it in French, it actually means something a bit rude. I won't repeat, but you can Google that one. Yeah, so ChatGPT is the tried and true one. This is the one that we started off with. This is the one that everyone has been playing around with. We also know that ChatGPT doesn't always tell the truth. So we have to double check and edit and make sure that whatever sources they're giving us are real. But it's a great gateway tool into learning how to use these AI tools in order to save you money, save you time. I love ChatGPT. I was really resistant and I've started using it just to kickstart any brain ideas I have about writing something. If I need to write an email, if I need to write a blog, if I want to just even, respond to an email that I've gotten and I think, oh, okay, I'd really love to respond to this email with a kind tone. Because sometimes, if I'm just chatting out what I want to say, it can feel really harsh on email, right? It's just that you've got to figure out the tone. And we get to teach ChatGPT how to do that. So edit, edit, edit. Don't forget that. The other thing about AI is there are so many other tools that we talked about. We had a session with Gao Kerman, who talked about tools beyond ChatGPT. Also, Stanley Henry, if you go back and look at that one, again, beyond ChatGPT, what is out there and how can we help? How can AI help us? How these tools can help us? It all depends on what your business is and what you need it for. But the biggest thing that I've noticed that's coming up is this AI assistant vibe. So you've got AI coming in as your assistant, creating posts. Let's say on your LinkedIn, I think it's Taplio you can use to help you write posts, respond to posts. It's generating content for you. It's sort of manually we would use Google Alerts to like pop something in, and say, oh, I want to be alerted every time Francis Valentine has an article that comes out or does a talk. And this way, Tapio will do it for you as opposed to you having to research that, find it, put it into words. You're getting that there. So that's like a lovely assistant tool. Fireflies was one we learned about. It's an executive assistant. It takes notes for you. Transcribes your meetings. And then it can go back and find the key phrases for you. It'll summarize things. It'll summarize your call. It will transcribe phone calls for you. So that's a fabulous tool that you can incorporate as well if you need it. Tome writes and creates PowerPoint presentations off of a prompt. You could just throw a prompt in. I didn't have time to do that. I just threw this one together on Canva, but will be interested in using Tome in the future and see how that goes as I do more of these presentations for you. And Microsoft Office is also coming out with what they're calling Copilot. So we're going to keep an eye out for that this year. That will not be a free tool, but I'm expecting it should have a manageable pricing range. I shouldn't say anything because who knows, but at some point. But again, Copilot is just going to have AI move into their Microsoft Office suite and create more of this assistant vibe for you so that all the things that you had wasted time on, it's just going to become fast and really, really easy. So again, with AI, I think we need to take a step back as well and know that we are teaching the tool what we need it to know from us. We're training it about our tone, about what our business is, about what we need. And that takes a little time and it takes a little bit of growing pains in there. And then of course the tools shift and change. So then we've got to like relearn that. But once you get it down, it becomes a really, really easy thing to incorporate into your business. And it does make things a lot easier. So that is AI. I am going to move on to the last topic because I want to make this short and sweet and just nutshell this for you so that we can wrap this year up with a bow. Our next topic is my favorite, cybersecurity. I know if any of you have been following along with me, I geek out on the cybersecurity. And I don't know if, I should have been a detective in this life, but there is something about cybersecurity, this thing where I just want to get into the mind of the hacker and the bad guy and then block them. I just want to say, okay, I see where your mind is going and I'm going to block you. But for those of us who don't have the time or the passion or or even the brain to go like, ooh, I want to get into the brain of a bad guy. What does that say about me? Anyway, side note. So having these simple tools to keep yourself safe and secure in your business is so easy and so necessary. So lock your doors. This was my big thing. My big takeaway this year was our businesses, our computers, our phones, this existence that we have in the ether now needs to be locked up in the same way that we would lock up our physical home, our physical business. You would lock your doors. You would not leave it open. So we're learning now how people can get in because we didn't really know before. We didn't know that, oh, I left a window open. I didn't realize that. Now we know where the windows are, we know where the doors are, and we know how to keep everything locked and secure. So the scary stories that we've all heard, it's great. It's great to know that they're there, but this doesn't have to be scary. And it's not about like the bad guy is coming to get you. The bad guy is trying to get everybody, and they can get the most digitally savvy people in a moment of weakness. So don't sweat if you've gotten hacked or you've made the mistake of clicking the wrong link at the wrong time. We all do it. So, a couple of things to keep you safe so that maybe in those moments of weakness, when you are too tired and you're not thinking, these things will be a nice security block for you is one, update your software. We talked about updating our software. It's one of the easiest ways to protect your business, constantly addressing security vulnerabilities that are popping up in software and applications. That's what's coming up. So you see that little you see the little software update and you're like, oh, I'm in the middle of something. I really don't want to do it. Just click it. Just take the few moments, update your software. Really what they're doing mostly is they're addressing these security issues. And then they're taking out some bugs and things. Yay. I think gone are the days when we would update our software and you would lose all of this information. That's not what's happening anymore. I know some of us have the throwback of, oh, I updated my iPhone and I lost all of my photos. That's not what's happening, especially now that we have cloud-based backups, which we'll get to. The next thing is multi-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication, being able to block anyone from getting in past your username and your password. So single factor authentication is your name and your password. Multi-factor authentication is then going to use a little bit of extra. So you have to provide another layer of security. It could be biometrics, like a thumb print, or retina scans are going to be coming up now. We're getting really futuristic in 2024, aren't we? Or you could be texted a code or an authentication app on your phone that generates a code. There are lots of different ways of doing MFA and having it block people from getting into your bank account, getting into your business files, getting into your emails and all of that. So multi-factor authentication. Although I think when it first started getting implemented, people were thinking, God, this is just a pain. It's a pain to do this extra step. We're shifting into more of a place where we're like, no, now, and this is now what I do. I have to do this I do my username and password, and then I've got my other little special code, and now I'm in. So it just becomes what it is. That's how you get into your accounts in your business. So huge one, really easy to do. Passwords, right? Keeping your passwords really lengthy and not, not having the simple passwords that we used to have. I used to have the same password for everything. I've changed that, people. You cannot get into my things because I've learned a lot more. Um, but yeah, so changing your passwords regularly, maybe having long phrases that only you would remember. And then if you want, not if you want, I think it's really actually beneficial. What am I saying? If you want, do it. A password manager is really, really important. Using a password manager. So we've heard different things from different people in our events, and we've heard that your browser password manager maybe is the easiest one to break into and for people to find your passwords. It might not be your best bet, but if that's what you're using, then great, it's something. And then you can switch it over to something that's just a little more secure. There are so many of them. There's LastPass, there's Bitwarden, Dashlane, yeah, just making sure you're using long, strong, unique passwords. A lot of these password managers generate those for you so that they're in there, and then going in and just switching them up every once in a while. The only thing with a password manager, I would say with these external ones, is you have to remember your ultimate password to get in. If you lose that, you lose everything. And that's why I think we had Sam Leggett from Cert NZ said it the last time we met with him, was creating phrases for your passwords would be really, really great. Like a phrase that no one would think of, or maybe it's like a favorite line from a book and you add some numbers and, symbols in there. That could be a good one that you will remember. And then you won't, do what I did back in the day, which was put everything on a little post-it note and keep it, you know, attached to your computer. How easy is that to get in? Ugh. Backups. Backups is another really simple way we can keep ourselves safe, right? So backing up either to a cloud-based service or backing up to a hard drive and keeping that in a secure place, separate from your business, separate from the space where you have all of your information anyway, and testing these backups regularly. So making sure that the information you have in there is downloaded and that it actually works, that you can regurgitate it back. So if you've got your backups, even if the bad guys get in there, they're not going to get a lot. You're not going to lose much if you're backing up regularly. So you might lose like a little bit of information, but maybe it's only a day's worth or a few days worth. See what is worth it to you, as far as your backup scheduling goes. So if you need to back up daily to know that your business is secure, do your backups daily. Yeah. And so that is I think that in a nutshell, this is what we've got for the year. Yes. So we covered marketing, we covered AI and AI tools, and we went over cybersecurity. There are so many other wonderful topics that we covered in Digital Boost that just didn't make my top three, and that's okay. We'll see what happens next year and what's going to make the top three next year. But again, if there is content that is missing that you need to know more about, reach out to our support team and get me to do my job better, which would be to bring in experts to help you. One of the greatest gifts I've experienced this year in taking this job, which I didn't expect, was being able to give back to this community, being able to make these relationships with these experts who are helping you and your business thrive. I love this so much. This makes me, as you all know, I get very passionate and very excited about it. So please keep the ideas coming. Let me know what you need, and I will create these events for you. So thank you again for continuing to show up for yourself and for your business. We here at Digital Boost are so proud of the growth that we are seeing with you on our Digital Boost community. We're watching you grow, and we're watching you thrive. We're watching you interact with the platform and seeing your businesses grow. So I'm wishing you all a festive holiday season. Have fun, relax, enjoy the sunshine, and we will see you back here in 2024. All right. I'll be here. January 9th is our first event back. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season. Ka kite ano.